Hi everyone! It's been far too long since I've shared some positive news with you. I hope these stories will make your day a little brighter. Let's get into it. Our first story is from The Today Show. In 2009, Adam Lowy was working at his family's moving company, helping families pack up and move to a new home. After some time working odd jobs at the company, he noticed families would leave behind plenty of items, even food. Quote, "When people move, they throw away a whole bunch of stuff. Food, clothing, furniture, you name it," Lowy told Today. And what bothered us was the perfectly good, non-perishable food that was getting left behind in the pantry or thrown away in the trash. Quote, "Moving's stressful, you know? It's not a fun experience. There's a lot going on," Lowy said. And we started by asking a very simple question. Do you want to donate your food when you move? And Move for Hunger was born, end quote. Within a month, Lowy and the moving company had donated 300 pounds of food to a local food bank. It was easy for him and other movers to simply collect food and drop it off at the food bank. And Lowy said it opened his eyes to the need in his area. Quote, "I had never visited a local food bank before. Growing up here in Monmouth County, New Jersey, the home of Bruce Springsteen and Bon Jovi, you look around and don't see a lot of poverty or food lines. And the food bank told us that there were more than 100,000 people just in the county that didn't have enough to eat. And at that point, it became personal," end quote. Since then, Move for Hunger has only grown. When it started, Lowy just used his family's company to connect with moving families. But now the organization has developed a network of over 1,000 companies across the United States and Canada. Many of the moving companies are partnered with local food banks, and Move for Hunger has also developed partnerships with apartment communities in all 50 states. Relocation management companies and large companies like Target and Facebook to help reach as many people as possible. Move for Hunger provides a program letter that educates about local need, and the moving company will provide a box and a recyclable food collection bag. Quote, "You can simply put aside your nonprofit donations, and then we make sure the food gets picked up and delivered to a local food bank," Lowy said. Since 2009, Move for Hunger has donated more than 20 million pounds of food to local food banks, which has provided more than 17 million meals to local individuals in need. In 2020, the organization stepped up its efforts as food insecurity needs increased amid the coronavirus pandemic. Quote, "Before the pandemic, there were 37 million Americans struggling with food insecurity," Lowy said. Now there's 54 million Americans struggling with hunger, which includes 1 in 4 children, 1 in 11 seniors. More than 40% of the people visiting food banks over the last year were new to food banks. It's just become very hard," end quote. "We've gotten to take the time to know as many food banks and pantries, big and small," Lowy said. "We want to be a partner for them so they can spend more time getting food out the door rather than trying to figure out how they're going to get food in the door. We're 11 years in, and I feel like we're just getting started. Most of us are fortunate to not have to think about not having enough food from one day to the next. This story is a great reminder that not everyone is so lucky, and people have been impacted even more so due to the pandemic. It is also a good reminder for me to donate to my local food bank. If I move again, I'll definitely make note of this organization." Our second story today is also from the Today Show. Meet Truffles, a sassy cat who is helping children see the beauty in wearing glasses. Danielle Krull and her family adopted Truffles as a stray kitten, found at a church camp in Pennsylvania in 2016. Quote, "She's a sweetheart," Krull, 50, told Today. "I can't believe nobody else wanted her," end quote. Truffles proved to be smart too. The treat-motivated kitty soon learned the tricks sit and high five. Since Krull is a master optician and owns a glasses dispensary for children, she wondered if Truffles could also learn to wear glasses to help kids feel more comfortable. A star was born. Krull started bringing Truffles to work with her at A Child's Eyes in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Clients are as young as 4 months old. Most are 2 to 5 years old. Children can feel scared or insecure about being fitted for glasses, but when Truffle struts out modeling her stylish frames, everything changes. Quote, "It's just like magic," Krull said. As soon as the kids see her, they're like, "Okay, glasses are amazing," end quote. Truffles seems to relish the attention. In fact, if a child is crying, Truffles doesn't run away. Instead, she sits next to Krull and tries to get her attention until she suggests, "Do you want to see Truffles with glasses?" Some children need to wear an eye patch for amblyopia, a fairly common childhood condition, which can make children feel self-conscious. So, Truffles wears one too. Quote, "When you cover up your eye that sees well to try to make your eye that doesn't see well start to see better, you feel like you're being punished," she said. "Seeing Truffles in it makes them feel like she's one of them," end quote. Truffles, known as Truffles the Kitty online, frequently receives messages and videos from kids who are patching. Some share that they're having a hard time, or that their eye is better and they no longer need to wear the patch. One little girl sang a song she wrote about how Truffles is the best. Truffles stars in her own educational videos. She teaches kids what to do with glasses when they aren't wearing them, by pulling a case toward herself or pointing, and she shows them what the eye chart looks like. She demonstrates how to pick glasses and wear sunglasses when outside. Truffles has about 20 pairs of glasses and sunglasses. Only the sunglasses have lenses. She loves wearing them, but only if they're properly fitted. The cat can remove her glasses whenever she likes, but often keeps them on for a long time and even falls asleep in them. Quote, "Sometimes I'll go to take them off and she'll just walk away from me," Krull said. She doesn't want them off yet, end quote. It's great that Truffles is having such a positive impact on kids and encouraging them to be comfortable in glasses. The third story today comes from Fox News. A third-grade teacher from California has a very important lesson for her students: to be good humans. Each day, Katie Boozer sings affirmations with her students at Franklin Elementary School in Santa Barbara before they take an exam. Quote, "When they believe in themselves, that's how our world is going to change," Boozer told Fox News, end quote. Boozer has done this with every class she's had since starting her career as an educator 10 years ago. She was inspired by the very teachers who taught her to believe in herself when she was struggling in school. Quote, "As a student myself, I was that anxious kid. I was nervous, especially before testing or like a big exam," Boozer said. "What helped were I am statements," she said. Now, before each test, she preps her students with the mantra, "I believe in myself. I believe I can. I believe I'll try my best. I believe I'm awesome. I believe in me." At that point, Boozer asks her students to pick up their pencils. She continues, "I am strong. I am smart. I am capable. I am a mathematician. I will pass this test. Ready, steady, Freddy, go." At the beginning of each year, Boozer leads the affirmations. By March, she says it's her students who take the lead, which was precisely her intention all along. Quote, "I can be the leader, but the whole point for me is I want them to be the leaders," she said. "These kids are our future, and if we give them the tools to lead, they will." Boozer also gives her students journals, where they write one "I am" and one "I am grateful for" statement every morning. For many of them, it's the highlight of their day, and if Boozer forgets, they'll be sure to remind her. A kid said to me, "I am unstoppable." I was like, "Yes, you are," she recalled. These moments, she says, are powerful because it sets the tone for the whole day. However, Boozer also gives her students the opportunity to share when things are difficult, something she says is as equally important. She recalled a time when a student gave her a Post-it note after taking an assessment. The note read, "This is really hard for me. I'm feeling really frustrated." I said, "I'm so proud of you, because you know how hard it is to say that this is hard for me," she said. Boozer's classroom door even emphasizes her life lessons. It reads, "We can do hard things." It's a mantra her students repeat back to her very frequently, she said. Years later, parents will tell Boozer how their child still repeats the affirmations. They're going out into the world in a job interview, and they're confident and strong and capable and smart. This, to me, is how our world is going to change, she said. According to Boozer, academics are important, but being a good human is more valuable. I couldn't agree more. Our next story is from Sunny Skies. A contestant on Wheel of Fortune donated his entire $145,000 winnings to charity. Scott Colbrenner of Encino, California, was a contestant recently on Wheel of Fortune. Colbrenner had won $45,000 in cash and prizes during the regular rounds of play before correctly guessing the bonus puzzle and collecting the $100,000 grand prize. He donated his $145,000 in prize money to split between Uplift Family Services and Los Angeles Regional Food Bank. Quote, "While I hoped I would do okay on the show, I never thought that anything like this could happen," Colbrenner said, reacting to his big win. Quote, "I got lucky that day and knew right away that I wanted to share my good fortune, so I decided to contribute all my winnings to Uplift Family Services and Los Angeles Regional Food Bank, whose services support thousands of families. The fun and memories from that day will stay with me forever, but the urgent need in our community cannot wait." He could have kept that money for himself. He won it after all. But instead, he saw it as an opportunity to help those in need in his community. It was a selfless, wonderful thing for him to do. The final story today comes from CBS News. It was summer 2019 in Aurora, Colorado, when CBS first met middle school math teacher Finn Lanning and Damien, the student he just couldn't shake. Damien says Lanning was definitely one of his better teachers. Quote, "When a teacher doesn't bother me over and over again, that's better," he said. "Like, leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. I'll get my work done," end quote. Quote, "He's smart and funny and was always a student that stood out. And then one day, he just came to me and he said, 'I'm not coming back to school,'" Lanning said. Lanning sat his student down. Quote, "And what I found out was his story," end quote. He learned Damien had a kidney disease and was in foster care. And because social services couldn't find a foster family willing to meet his medical needs, Damien was forced to leave school and live in the hospital. But here's the real kicker. Damien needed a transplant desperately. And a lot of times it's hard to get a transplant if someone doesn't have a stable home to go to after surgery. Quote, "It hit me like a ton of bricks. I mean, you just can't sit across from somebody you care about and hear them say something like that and know that you have the room to help," Lanning said. That's how Lanning became a foster parent. He took Damien in, dialysis needs and all, even though prior to the hallway meeting, he'd been a confirmed bachelor who delighted in his childlessness. Quote, "I never thought that I could leave school and take one of them with me and still survive," he said. Damien said, quote, "I was like, yes, I get out of the hospital, but I was like, my math teacher, out of all people," end quote. They got along famously, although Damien refused to get too excited. He'd seen fairy tales fall apart before. Quote, "It's kind of bad thinking about that, but some people actually do that. Like, they'll be happy with you one day and then just kick you out the next," Damien said. Lanning said he's not going anywhere, whether Damien believes it or not. In the nearly 2 years since CBS News first shared their story, Damien was able to get a transplant, and he's a much healthier 15-year-old. A few months ago, Lanning adopted Damien. Quote, "It's like a dream come true," Damien said. "It's proof that sometimes fairy tales do end happily ever after." I'm so happy things worked out for Damien. That's all for today's positive news stories. I hope you enjoyed hearing these inspirational and uplifting stories. Let's all remember to be kind, spread positivity, and do what we can to make our communities and the world a better place. Thank you for watching and have a great day.